Hello everybody, this is my CZW Cage of Death review, Cage of Death 6, sorry, from 2004. This is what many feel is the best CZW event to ever take place. Now, and this was when CZW was considered the number 4 promotion in the United States. Now they're not really considered to be that. And, it goes WWE, TNA, ROH, and then there's a whole bunch of independent promotions which could potentially be in that number 4 spot. But back then it was definite CZW was number 4, and this show really is why they would consider it to be number 4, because it is a very good show. There are problems with it, but it still is a good show. I'll start off just going through the matches. We started off with a Maven can idol, and Maven, not Maven from the WWE, but another Maven, was the commissioner or whatever at the time, on-screen heel running guy, and he got a whole bunch of guys. It was basically so his guy could get a chance, and because this event was 2 ringed, they had 2 rings, and you had these. It was just an elimination. A pin would be an elimination. But yeah, it was 2 rings, and it was just a clutter. It was just a mess. You couldn't tell what was going on. In the end, it turned out to be pretty good, but it was just a mess. So 1.5 stars. Next was 1.25 stars. Next was Beef Wellington versus Kid Kamikaze. This was just a short comedy type of match. Beef Wellington was really, really lazy. Like he'd, do offense, and his opponent would be supposed to be making his comeback not long after that, and he would sort of just, while Beef Wellington was waiting for the person to make his comeback, he'd sort of just stand there and not do anything. I don't know if that's part of his stick, but it's just really lazy, because it sort of ruins the flow of the match. Next was Mike Quackenbush, Gran Akuma, and Jigsaw versus Blackjack Marciano, Larry Sweeney, and Hollow Wicked, in what was a very good match. It was high-paced and everything you expect from a Chikara match. Of course, all the younger guys looked a lot greener than they do now, but still, it was a 2 3/4 star match. The next match was All Money Is Legal versus Ghost, Shadow, Spiral, and Heretic. This was also a very good match. 2 3/4 had good psychology, and it was a good 6-man tag. Next was Roderick Strong and Eric Stevens versus Alex Shelley and Johnny Storm. Alex Shelley and Roderick Strong were feuding. Eric Stevens this was his first match. Johnny Storm was a returning legend for CZW, and yeah, it was just a very, very good, strong match, and I give it 3.5 stars. It was solid. The action was high-paced. It was long, not too long. Just very good match. Next up we had Junior Heavyweight title match, no DQ, false count anywhere, and loser leaves. The story was M-Dog stole Sanjay's title, or Matt Cross, as most people now know him, stole Sanjay, that's CZW Junior Heavyweight title, and they were feuding, and the loser left, obviously. This was a good match. It was a bit spotty, but it was very good because M-Dog got to show off some of his gymnastic abilities and all that. But it was a bit spotty, and then the end was a bit of a clutter. But other than that, it was still very good, very entertaining, and because they did have a lot of hatred towards each other. They were brawling a lot, but there were still those big spots. They were trying to dish out everything on each other so that it sort of it works out. But I'll give that 3 stars. It just turned into a clusterfuck at the end with run-ins and stuff. Then was the Extreme Strong Style Tournament Finals, which was B-Boy versus Dan Math. Before Dan Math, if you haven't heard what happened to him, then look it up. This was a okay match. It wasn't very long, and the ending was pretty weak. It was building. They were working really stiff because it was a strong style tournament. But then the ending was just 2 drop kicks while Dan Math was in the corner, and then a drop kick with a chair, and that was it. So it was very anticlimactic. But it was still what we did have was pretty good, and it was a bit short for my liking. So 2 3/4. Then we had B-Boy versus Chris Hero, because Chris Hero attacked B-Boy. It wasn't a very long match either. It had the same sort of thing as the problem as the Dan Math B-Boy match, where it was a bit anticlimactic and all that. But B-Boy won the Iron Man title off Chris Hero. Next is what I feel is the match of the night, which was Super Dragon and Excalibur versus Kevin Steen and El Generico. Super Dragon and Excalibur from PWG, and Kevin Steen and El Generico from International Wrestling Syndicate in Canada. This was just really good. It was 4.25 stars. It was just, high spots, had good psychology, high-paced action. It was long, but it didn't go over the top like a lot of Briscoe's matches do, where they just go for too long. But it was, really good. If there's any criticism I have of this match, it's sometimes Super Dragon does make his opponents look weak. I have no problem. I have a bit of a problem with that, but I don't have a problem if you're making them look strong. But there's this bit where Kevin Steen, and him are countering each other's moves. Kevin Steen goes for I can't think of it. Just jump and kick him in the head. I don't know why I can't remember anything, and I'm stuttering a lot. And fuck. But anyway, and Super Dragon just blocked it down with one arm at the last second, and it just made Kevin Steen look really weak, and like the fans were laughing at Kevin Steen. Now, if Kevin Steen was playing the biggest heel of the match, if you have fans laughing at a heel when they're not supposed to be funny, then that's a bad thing, because he just sort of brushed him down. He didn't go boom and epically block it down. He just put his arm up and had Kevin Steen drop and fall flat on his face and look like a fool. And he did similar things to this in the night as well. And Super Dragon has done this a lot of times, where he makes himself look good and makes his opponents look weak. No matter what their disposition is, whether they're face or heel, he'll make them look weak, and that's my biggest criticism of him. It's just, if he didn't do that, he would just be so much better, or I'd really like him so much more. But it's just such a fucking irritating thing for him to do. But other than that, it's just, the match was still great. It's just that one problem I have with it. Other than that, it was great. CZW World Heavyweight Title match. Ladders and scaffolds. Adam Flash versus Chaos versus Messiah, who was the champion. This was a good match. It wasn't amazing, but it was just supposed to be a sort of hardcore match, and it was, ladders. You had to climb a ladder to get on a scaffold and get the title, and also there was a $10,000 bounty on Messiah's head. But yeah, this was good. It wasn't too spotty or too garbage wrestling, or too they weren't just going nuts with stupid spots. There was some psychology to it. So yeah, I'll give it 3.5 stars. It was a good match, but I expected more for a title match. Cage of Death won CZW World Tag Team titles. This 4 people were holding the titles. The Blackout versus Team Cash. This was a War Games style match. You'd have each people come in, except then when they all got in, it was elimination. But the problem with these matches are that you can't really apply any specific psychology to them. They're sort of just a bit of a spot fest. They always have been, and a brawl, and always really bloody, because it is a War Game style match. But it was still very good. It's famous for Jack Evans falling off the top of the cage. Of course, he did try to break his fall, because he was supposed to fall through a ladder, and I think he saw that, and he tried to break his fall by grabbing the cage, but his fingertips hit it and he kicked off of it. So at least he kicked off of it, which broke a bit of the fall, because if you're falling down from a great height and you kick off of something, you break a lot of this momentum that you've got going down. Anyone who studies physics will know that. So yeah, that's probably why he didn't die. He also had a lot of other big spots, and I'm not going to go through them because I just don't like to. But yeah, 4-star match, very good. Justice Payne and Wife Beater versus Nick Gage and Nate Hatred. This match I expected a lot out of. It was just sort of garbage wrestling and too many swerves at the end. I won't tell you what happened. But yeah, there was just a 2.5-star match, and it was a double swerve that happened, and that just shits me when that happens. Overall for the event, because it was just such a solid card of matches, I will give it 8.25. If there's any CCW DVD, you're going to get this one. Anyway, I'm out.